practice, the database normalization up to 3NF, which includes 1NF, 2NF, and 3NF, is considered to be sufficient for most databases.
1 and F, first normal form. Rules. Each table cell should contain a single value. Second, each record needs to be unique. So here's our database. So our database has 4 columns. So this is title movie rented by people. Consists of 3. So we have 4 columns. First is full name. Second, physical address. Third is movies rented. And fourth one is salutation. So we have 3 people, namely Tayara Miles, Joshua Reyes, and Joshua Reyes again. So both of them have different physical address and different movies rented. But before we proceed, let's understand a few things. What is a key? A key is a value used to identify a record in a table uniquely. A key could be a single column or a multiple column combination. Take note, columns in a table that are not used to identify a record uniquely are called non-key columns. Second, what is a primary key? Primary is a single column value used to identify a database record uniquely. It has 4 following attributes. First, a primary key cannot be null. Second, a primary key value must be unique. Third one, the primary key value should rarely be changed. Fourth, the primary key should be given a value when a new record is inserted. Third key, which is we call composite key. A composite key is a primary key composed of multiple columns used to identify record uniquely. In our database, we have 2 people with the same name, which is Joshua Reyes, but both of them have different physical address. So the first, Joshua Reyes, lives in Macanhan, Tree Village, Cagayan de Oro City, and the second, Joshua Reyes, lives in Zone 1, Upper Carmenzaya CDO or Cagayan de Oro City. And alongside from that, they have different tastes of renting a movie. So the first, Joshua rented 3 Idiots, and the second, Joshua rented a Transformers. Hence, we need both full names and address to identify a record uniquely. So that's we call composite K.
2 and F is the second normal form rules. So rule 1, be in 1 and F, and rule 2, single column primary key. So like these tables, we have divided our 1 and F table into 2 table V's. So table 1 and table 2. The table 1 contains members information, and the table 2 contains information and movies rented. So the membership ID, which is the primary key for the table 1, and for table 2, it is a foreign key. So these tables shows that a foreign key references the primary key of another table, which helps connect your table. And a foreign key can have a different name from its primary key, and the foreign keys can be null even though primary keys cannot. So why do you need a foreign key? Suppose a novice insert a record in table 1 such as this. You will only be able to insert a values into a foreign key that exists in the unique key in the parent table. So the above problem can be overcome by declaring membership ID from table 2 as a foreign key of a membership ID for table 1. Now, if somebody tries to insert a value in the membership ID field, that it shows that does not exist or error will be shown.
Good day, sir. So this is what I've learned from the videos. The third normal form of database must be in the second normal form, and it must not have transitive dependency. So what is transitive dependency? The transitive dependency is when a non-primary key depends on another non-primary key in the table. So when this non-primary key changes, the other one changes too. So from the given example in the video, the total marks depends on exam name, and this exam name is not the primary key, because the primary key is the student ID and the subject ID. So when this exam name changes, the total marks will also change because the exams has different kinds. So another example is in a table with membership ID, which is the primary key. There is a table of salutation, which depends on the full name. So this full name depends on the primary key. So this is the transitive dependency. So in order to solve this, we will make another table. So from the first example, we will make exam table. And for the second example, we'll make another table of membership ID and salutation ID.
BCNF, or Boy's Code Normal Form, is a normal form used in database normalization. It is also the extension of ANF, and also known as 3.5 normal form or 3.5 NF. Rules for BCNF. For the table to satisfy the Boy's Code normal form, it should satisfy the following two conditions. First, it should be in the third normal form. And second, for any dependency A to B, A should be a super K. The second point sounds a bit tricky, but in simple words, it means that for a dependency A to B, A cannot be a non-prime attribute if B is a prime attribute. We have a table example here. Below we have a student ID, subject, and professor. In the table, one student can enroll for multiple subjects. For example, student with student ID 101 has opted for subjects Java and C++. For each subject, a professor is assigned to the student, and there can be a multiple professors teaching one subject like we have for Java. In the table, student ID, subject together with a primary K, because using student ID and subject, we can find all the columns of the table. One more important point to note is, one professor teaches only one subject, but subject may have two different professors. Therefore, there is a dependency between subject and professor here, where subject depends on professor name. The table also satisfies the first normal form. It also satisfies the second normal form, and also no partial dependency. And there is no transitive dependency. Therefore, the table also satisfies the third normal form,